James Bond has never driven a Chinese car before, but if he did, this might just be the car for him. This is Inside China Auto, and this is the Zeekr 007. Yes, this is the Zeekr 007, the brand's first model with its own unique design. After the 001, the 009 and the X all had little hints of Lynk & Co in there from before Zeekr was actually formed. This is the first model with a unique design look, and if this is the future of how Zeekrs are going to look, this is absolutely stunning. I am all for this. What a wonderful looking car. It is super sleek, super powerful, super svelte. Got these big, powerful arches front and rear, power domes across the front there, incredibly aerodynamic, super sleek nose. It looks absolutely amazing. Like it hugs the road, really low, powerful and strong. The big thing at the front here, of course, is this, the Zeekr Stargate, which is a panel consisting of 1,711 LEDs. It can produce all kinds of fancy animations and graphics. You can even make your own custom animations and write your own words on there as well to project messages to people outside, or just simply to welcome yourself to the car if you really want to. It's a really interesting innovation. I've never seen this on a car before, but it looks absolutely amazing. It's optional on 3 of the cars. It's standard on 1 of the versions that you can get. It looks really, really, really nice. Here along the side, you'll see that we've got the 19-inch alloys on our car, the two-tone design, very stylish those, but you can get 20-inch alloys. They come with Akebono brake calipers at the front for extra stopping power. Along the side, very, very smooth, very sleek, as I said, very powerful towards the back, gently rising line there, but it's a very elongated tail on this to make it look extra sleek and lithe. We've got the blue optional paint colour, which comes with this silver roof as well, which also looks very nice, like it's floating on top of the car, really stylish. You'll notice we're missing a few appendages here on the side of the car. We are missing door handles on the front and the rear. That's because we have the optional power doors here, which you simply press a button on. Now, I don't believe they're allowed in Europe, so when this car does come to Europe, I don't think you're going to have that option. You're going to have normal door handles, but they do look very stylish at the same time. Notice we also have frameless windows and frameless mirrors, just to make it look a little bit more sporty, a little bit more design-led. What I'm going to do is pop open the bonnet here and close this door, because I want to show you the clamshell bonnet design that we have at the front of this car, which makes it look extra smooth and sleek. And notice we also have power lifting tail bonnet there, and we also have space in here for, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 small backpacks in the front there. So you do get a frunk on this car, just in case you are a frunk enthusiast. Now, coming here towards the rear, I'll show you that clamshell design I was talking about. If I hold down this button on the key, you'll see the boot lid now starts to open. And what you get is a really deep cut into the side of the car there. It actually looks very Audi Q5esque, which is no surprise because Stefan Sielaff, now boss of design at Zeekr, was actually the boss of design at Audi when the Q5 with the clamshell tailgate was conceived. So he's borrowed that nice little bit of design here. Looks very stylish, gives you a nice full face on the back of the car, which I'll show you in a second. It also gives you a very nice wide opening to your boot here. So we do get a lot of space in there, 462 litres, get some big suitcases in there, more space under the bottom as well. And you can fold down the seat 60-40 as well for extra space. So it is quite a practical car for a saloon, especially one that is so stylish. But the design feature that I wanted to show you is this. This is our light bar across the back, as you can see. Very sleek and very slim. Now here underneath that we have a panel that has wave patterns on it. So what that does is it reflects this red light at night time, so it looks like lights bobbing on top of the water. Really nice little design feature, just like this floating sea pillar actually on here. Again, really stylish little things. Zeekr really focus on the details. They focus on craftsmanship and people actually feeling like the car was made for them. This car does a really, really good job of that, and it's got more details like that on the inside as well. So as we step into the car, these electric doors out of the rain, all I have to do is press the brake pedal there. Door will close and the seat returns from the welcome stance. And in here, well, it's a really nice interior, of course. Zeekr style, of course, so quite minimalist, but elegant at the same time. Very high quality materials. We get nice leathers up here on the dashboard, across there as well. And in the doors, you get imitation suede in there, and on this kind of panel for your cup holders and your wireless chargers there as well. Microfiber roof lining in here, as well as on these fancy sunglass holders and on the grab handle as well. Nice little design features there. Sadly on our car, we've got the black and grey interior, so on a grey day like today, it doesn't really pop that much, but you can get a white and blue version of this interior, which looks much more brighter and much more entertaining. So I'd quite like to have that one, I would say. But anyway, it is still a nice interior. It's quite a smart interior as well. So in here, we've got our 15-inch screen. This runs on the Snapdragon 8295 processor, so it's nice and quick. You can rotate this 3D model of the car very well, and you can open doors and windows and charge ports and things just by playing with that car. On the left side of the screen here, you get access to customizable quick access functions. So if you want your fog lamp to be available at all times, you can have it there on the left side. Of course, we don't have any switches in this car, so some people want to have a physical switch for that. There it is on that side of the car. We also get a toolbar across the bottom. You can change your ventilation, speed and temperature down there, and of course turn on your heated seats that are standard in the front and the rear. We also get ventilation and massage functions for the front two seats as well. I believe that's standard on most cars. So very nice stuff there. We also get some other functions in here as well. One thing I like is you get the screen sharing, so you can share your phone screen, play videos on the screen, or you can plug in your Nintendo Switch, for example, play Nintendo Switch on a big screen as well. Now in this function here, you can play with that Stargate across the front of the car. So here we can put a dragon pattern across there with some music as well. Do Chinese lanterns, you can do stars, you can do even tiger eyes. They're really quite funky as well. And in here, you can do your own custom designs. So we can write in here, inside China Auto. We get 10 seconds to do this, which is a little bit of time pressure for a long sentence like this. But there you go, inside China Auto. That now animates on the lights in front. If you want to just write normal text with actual text, you can do that in there as well. So you can come out of that and put it into this version here. So you can change also, do different patterns as well. So you can do kind of a starry pattern, do that across your headlamps, a custom design. Very, very nice functionality in there. Zeekr do like to give you the customization of your own car, and that is a really nice way to do it. It's a really cool system in there. We also get an AI bot, so you can talk to that. She can speak to you really, really quickly. She can talk to you about all different kinds of things. Works out really nicely. Of course, we've got your 360-degree camera in here as well, so you can spin your car around, see exactly where you're parking, do your automatic parking in there as well, and of course, you can open your electronic glove box down there, which can be locked via the system as well. Very Tesla-esque. But no, very, very nice system that. I really like it. It works very well, nice and bright in the center, just the right size. As I said, we also get in other versions of this car a 35.5-inch augmented reality heads-up display. We don't get that on our car, but I think the brand new versions of this car do get that as standard, as well as our 13-inch display here, which sits very nicely behind our steering wheel. Now, the steering wheel itself is the same one as in the Zeekr X, so you get these funky little toggles on there. You get this toolbar across the bottom for your automatic parking, locking the car, 360-degree camera, open the trunk and open the charging port as well. And you get buttons on the back of the steering wheel as well, you can customize for different functions. The one that I've got it set to is this one, so you can speak to the car, and there's a speaker outside, and it will play your voice to people outside the car. So you can tell them they can cross the road if they're being apprehensive, or you can tell them to get out of the way if they're just being a pain. You can also play them dog noises or pig noises if you really want to as well, just for fun. So that's a cool little feature as well. Elsewhere, we get a 21 speaker Zeekr developed sound system. So you get big speakers down here in the doors and on the dashboard there, and more in the back. That's a 7.1.4 surround sound. It will be Dolby Atmos. It'll via an over-the-air update, might already be in there by now. And it's also in 1,900 watts of power. So it's a very good sound system, great for banging out 80s hits, which I like to do when I'm driving the car. So that's really cool. We also get twin wireless chargers here, 50 watts, and the ventilator as well, so nice and cool. Will charge your phone nice and quickly. Cup holders in there, big glove box or big cubby hole in there with USB-C sockets as well. We also get ambient lighting, of course, so a very nice strip of ambient lighting across there with some details at the bottom. Looks really quite nice at night time. And above our head, we get a panoramic sunroof here, as well as a bigger one in the back, which I'm going to show you now. In the back, it's fair to say that the room is a little bit tighter than in the front, so my feet have got a little bit of tight space down there because this seat is in the lowest position. If it's a bit higher, not going to be a problem. You can also see my headroom is pretty tight. My hair is right up against the glass here in the back, but I don't really feel like I'm that tight on headroom because we've got this enormous panoramic window that extends all the way from the bar across the middle here, right down to the back. I believe it's the largest roof of that type on the market. Quite reminiscent of the Wrongway IE6, which is a kind of a Chinese brand that pioneered this kind of window. It's a bit weird in that car, but it looks a bit nicer in this car, I've got to be honest with you. And it does give you a really good view of the sky. It's also nano silver coated, so it does protect you from UV rays here inside the car. But elsewhere, I mean, we get a few other things. We get electric door releases on the back. We get 2 USB-C ports down there and ventilation. Of course, rear pockets as well. Little hangers for your coats on the door there. Nice place to put them. And we get an armrest here in the middle with a pair of cup holders and a bit of space in the middle there as well. One thing I really do like about the back of this car, being a dad, as I am now, is these panels here on the bottom of the seats. They're velcroed down, but if you pull them up, they've got really, really easy access to the Isofix seat mountings. Unfortunately, I don't have my baby seat with me, so I can't show you how good it is to put the car seat into the car, but it does seem like it's pretty useful. Now, one thing you can also get in the back row here, but we don't have it on our car, is electronic backrest angle adjustment as well. So you can actually get a slightly better angle if you want to on the newer versions of this car. But overall, nice inside. I would like it with the lighter interior, but it's good. Now, if you've fallen in love with the car already, you'll be delighted to know that it drives just as well as it looks. It is, of course, on Geely's SEA platform, as all Zeekr models are, and it does such a lovely job. Right from the moment I got behind the wheel, I felt very comfortable with this car. It's got a lot more feel than a lot of Chinese cars that I've driven recently. The steering in particular is very pleasant. It's got quite a decent amount of weight to it. It's not quite BMW levels, but it's got decent weight to it. You can, of course, adjust that in the system as well. But it's also quite on the nose, so it's quite pointy. You can feel exactly where the front wheels are going. Now, it does come with pretty impressive ride quality as well. Currently, we're on a very high frequency road, concrete panel road with little rain gullies across it. This car comes with CCD electromagnetic anti-vibration technology, which you also get on the Zeekr 009. So this actually helps to iron out a lot of these high frequency bumps. But it's also, even without air suspension, really good on the choppy roads as well. Here in Kunming, there are some shocking concrete roads, big potholes and divots and cracks across the road. This car handles them almost as well as any car with air suspension. It does a really nice job. It basically keeps all those big bumps out of the cabin, except the very largest ones, the really severe ones, like speed bumps, things like that. It does a very nice job. And it's very predictable. I mean, we know that SEA is a very comfortable platform. If you've seen our review of the Geely Galaxy E8 or the Smart #1, you'll know how good they are to drive, at least in my opinion. But it's very stable. I mean, this car can handle a lot of power this chassis can handle a lot of power on the rear axle or on both axles. You know, under the 001, it's an absolute monster. Big car, loads of power, but drives absolutely stable, very, very compliant and very predictable. So easy to drive on the limit as well. I was lucky enough to have a chance to drive this car around the Ningbo International Race Circuit, and I got to say, it was a lot of fun, incredibly quick. It's very similar to the 001 in that respect. The 001 is more of a monster, feels a bit heavier and larger. This car feels a lot lower, more lithe and more nimble. It is about 300 kilograms lighter than the 001, but it's a super pleasant car to drive, and it's rabidly quick as well, even faster even than the 001. So you do get two choices of drivetrains on this. You get two options with rear-wheel drive, three options with all-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive versions come with a 310 kilowatt motor on the rear axle, 440 Newton meters of torque. It's the same motor that you'll get on the back of the Zeekr 001. If you want more performance and more power, you can get all-wheel drive with an additional 165 kilowatts on the front, about 270 Newton meters of torque. So it's rabidly quick. It will do in the dual motor version, the normal dual motor version, 0 to 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.8 seconds. And in the performance version, it will do that in just 2.84 seconds, albeit from a rolling start, the same way that Tesla measure theirs. So it's super quick and really easy to control. It's just excellent. It's also very stable as well. It comes with a few support mechanisms. So there's something called curve braking control that helps you keep the car stable when you're braking in a corner. It also comes with anti-fade braking as well. So if you do happen to be driving it very, very quickly for a long period of time, making your brakes a bit tired, you can keep those nice and stable at the same time. So it's really excellent. It's also got hydraulic bushings to give you a better quality ride. So it's really, really pleasant to drive. It's also very well equipped in terms of batteries. So you get two choices. The four, let's call them base versions of this car, they come with a 75 kilowatt hour Geely developed battery. It's an LFP battery, will charge up to 390 kilowatts, which will get you 10 to 80% charge in just 13.5 minutes. It's really, really good. And on the two rear-wheel drive version cars, it will get you 688 kilometers of range, albeit on CLTC, so take about 20 to 25% off that. In the dual motor version, it will get you 616 kilometers of range. Now, the performance version comes with CATL's Qilin golden battery. This is a battery that is very impressive. It will do 500 kilowatt charging, 4.5C. It will charge 500 kilometers of range in just 15 minutes, which negates most concerns that people have over things like range anxiety and the amount of time it takes to charge your car. It's a very impressive battery, and you can get that battery optionally as well on the other versions. You can get up to 870 kilometers of range on the rear wheel drive version with the 100 kilowatt hour Qilin battery as well. Super impressive. Now, on the charging front, you can also use this car to charge a friend's car. So if someone else has run out of charge, you can charge V2V, or vehicle to vehicle, up to 60 kilowatts. Give them a little top up, just enough to get to a charging station if necessary. You can also, of course, do V2L, 3.3 kilowatt V2L, if you want to, power things like camping stoves or TVs or projectors outside the car, stuff like that as well. It's very impressive in that respect. By the way, the dual motor, the performance version with the 100 kilowatt hour battery, that will get you 660 kilometers of range on CLTC. So how much does all this set you back? Well, this is where it gets very impressive. The 007 is, of course, aiming straight for the all-conquering Tesla Model 3. And I think we've established by now that in terms of spec, it absolutely obliterates the Model 3 straight out of the water. But in terms of price, it does a really good job as well. It undercuts it quite considerably here in China. So it starts at just 209,900 RMB, which in English money is £23,000, in American money, $29,000. That is, of course, the China price. So before you start saying, well, it's not going to cost that in Europe, no, it won't cost that in Europe, but it should be still pretty reasonably well priced. That's for the base version. The next two versions are 229,900 RMB. So that's a rear wheel drive version with some more tech on it and a LiDAR unit as well. And the dual motor version that we have today without the tech and the LiDAR version, without the LiDAR and the twin Orin X chips. You only get one Orin X chip on this car. The next version is an intelligent dual motor version, 259,900 RMB. That comes with LiDAR, comes with things like satellite communication as well, in case you get lost in the desert and need to communicate with someone by sat phone. So that one's quite impressive, a lot of tech on that one. And then the performance version, that kind of the flagship of the range, costs 299,900 RMB, which is about £32,500 or $41,500. So yeah, pretty impressive on the pricing, it has to be said. I don't know why anybody would pick a Model 3 over this in that respect, unless you really, 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 really want FSD, which you can't have in China anyway, at the moment anyway. But yeah, so it's crazy impressive car in terms of prices. As I mentioned just earlier, that does come with some autonomous driving tech. So it comes with ZAD, which I believe is Zeekr Autonomous Drive. Now, the LiDAR unit versions, they do have the option, or they will have in the near future, the ability to drive in urban settings as well as on the highway. All versions get one Orin X chip, the fancy versions get two. They will allow you to do highway autonomous driving, adaptive cruise control, automatic lane overtaking, ramps, entry and exit to highways as well. All of that will be done autonomously for you. As I said, the city urban autonomous driving also coming as well. So it's a very impressive car. It's quite good actually, the system. It's stable. It's not particularly scary. Some systems kind of bing and bong and throw you all over the place. Yeah, it does sometimes slow down a little bit when it sees someone kind of near the road or walking in the bike lane, as often happens here in China. But on the whole, it's a pretty stable system. It's quite good. You do have to pass a little test to access it, but you can do that in there, and then you simply activate it by pulling down on this handle twice, as you do in most other cars. So overall, yeah, really impressive car. I love the way it drives and the way it looks. It's absolutely packed full of tech. It's very, very impressive. So that's it for our review of the Zeekr 007. What a brilliant car this is. I absolutely love it. It's been so much fun driving this car around the mountain roads here and around the lake behind me. It's been very engaging to drive, super pleasant, really easy to get along with. It's got great performance, ridiculous levels of performance in this car. Of course, it's packed full of tech, lovely interior, and it looks absolutely stunning. This car for me feels like a seminal moment in Zeekr's history. It feels like the point where the brand realizes who they are, what they're capable of, and the story that they want to tell to the world. I genuinely think, put this car in the hands of Europeans, it will steal sales from Mercedes-Benz, BMW and Audi. It is that good. And Zeekr, of course, is looking to grow in Europe. I think they're going to do pretty well once the word gets out. This car is every bit as stylish and as capable as 007 himself. If you do, thank you for subscribing, and if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. It helps more people to see this video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.